I contacted my ex's fiance without his permission. He got furious.
I would too.
I, 30 female, was engaged to Anthony, 32 male, 4 years ago. Our relationship ended for a number of reasons, but we had been together since high school. We did not have the best ending, and there was a lot of hurt. I moved across the country when I moved out of our shared home. We cut contact following our split and have remained no contact ever since. We have mutual friends, so I still occasionally receive updates about his life, and I am sure that he receives the same. By the way, this comes from Dense Entrance 7881, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, 5 years ago, Anthony's mother, Liz, passed away after a long illness, and because we were engaged, Liz had given me a letter and a wrapped gift that she wanted me to give to Anthony on our wedding day. It was not specific to our wedding day, but since she knew that she would not be there, she decided that I should be the one to do it. She asked me to just keep it between us. She did not want her ex-husband or other kids to know. 8 months later, when we actually called off the wedding, I had forgotten about these items as I had stored them in my childhood bedroom for safekeeping, and in the midst of moving across the country, I left the items behind, which I am aware was careless. Fast forward to now, and I recently learned that Anthony is engaged to Beth, who is in her 30s. And my first thought was that I'm really happy for them and wish them all the best. I then was thinking about our canceled wedding and his mom. I really loved her like a second mom, and I was struck with the sinking feeling that I still had the letter and gift from her and that I had never returned it to the family. I then remembered Liz asking me not to share it with her other children or ex-husband. And while I was unsure of the exact reason, I think it's because she had done the same for her other children, but I am not sure who is holding on to their letters and gifts. I brought it up to my husband and explained how guilty I felt about still having these things, and I just didn't know what to do. Together, we talked through all the different options. I could have called him, but felt that it would ruin the surprise on the actual wedding day, which is what his mom wanted. I could have contacted a sibling, but then it felt like it would have ruined their surprise since they are not married yet. I thought about relatives, but I just didn't know who. So I settled on Beth. It just felt right that Liz wanted it to come from his soon-to-be wife. I reached out to her via social media DM and wrote her an extensive letter detailing what I stated above. I told her that she could do with this information what she wanted, but that I would be in my hometown next month and would love to get these items to her. Apparently, this was the wrong thing to do. Uh-oh. She told Anthony about this message, and he is pissed that I reached out to her. He says that I have no business contacting his fiance. I am torn now because I was honestly trying to honor his mother's wishes and return the items to their rightful owner.
I see now.
I really felt like I was doing the right thing for everyone. And we do have some comments, but I want to hear your comments, Riley. Do you think that she's the a-hole or not for reaching out to this fiance?
I don't think so, because it's above her and her own intentions. She's honoring people that have, his mom that's passed. Other people may not see that or understand that. Maybe clear some stuff up. Maybe afterwards be like, hey, people are going to be mad, but just you help me out, be on my side here because I'm trying to honor his mother.
Yeah.
I think it's fine. I don't think it's that big of a deal.
Yeah, I really get that it might look weird. Like, oh, my fiance's ex-wife is texting me, telling me to like give him something that she was going to give on their wedding day, or I guess ex-fiance, but that never happened. So like, this feels weird.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, it really does seem like her intentions were pure, and then she really just didn't know what to do.
She's just passing along a message. She's giving a gift back. She's not manipulating it or trying to get in her advantage at all.
Absolutely. And it wasn't even from her in the first place. It was from the mom. So it's not like she was trying to give him a present, Yeah. She was just like, oh, shoot. Forgot to deliver that. But the verdict from the comments is not the a-hole. Some questions from the comments. Was it a bad breakup? OP responds, it was not great. I had gotten a job in another city. We both agreed that I should take it, and then he decided at the last minute that he didn't want us to go. I ultimately decided to go anyway, and he thought I would stay. He was very angry that I did not stay. His version of events is usually that I left him right after his mother passed away. OP is responding now to a downvoted commenter who is saying bringing up his passed away mom and talking behind his back to his fiance are pretty terrible things to do when you could have sent those items to him. OP says, I guess I figured I could give her the choice to share these things with him on their wedding day instead of robbing him of that moment. I still felt like it was her choice how to go about it since it was intended to be given by the bride at the wedding. This was his mother's intention. The commenter says, because if it were really important to you to deliver them because you want to honor his mom, you would have not forgotten about it until it was convenient to you. OP responds, we called off our wedding and I moved 3 days later. I've only been home to my home state one time since that day, and it was for my brother's wedding, so I did not go back to my parents' home where my old bedroom has boxes of things from my canceled wedding, including my wedding dress.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, I honestly, I'd probably forget about it. I'm not gonna lie. Because if you're like, this isn't even your present, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're just passing it on, and then the wedding doesn't even happen. That's gonna be on your mind like crazy, and moving away,
Trying
like
to separate yourself from the breakup and moving away.
Exactly. That would slip my mind. Not gonna lie. I'm very forgetful in general. So if all this stuff is happening, I'm not remembering that present.
You're not forgetful.
Me? What?
You have left our son with me for like 3 weeks straight, though.
That was on purpose.
Aw. Thank you. I love
You're
Guava. We have a son named Guava, and he's a capybara that we got
Yeah,
from
he's a
K-Town.
little pink capybara with a green apple on his head.
Yep, he's the best.
He's the best son we could ever ask for.
Doesn't require a lot.
Don't
good for us
clip
for now.
that. Don't clip that and send that to our future children.
Yeah, don't.
That might end up poorly. But anyway, I met my husband a few weeks after I moved, and we got married during the pandemic, so I have not had a ton of time to think about my ex. It was his engagement that made me think about Liz, and then about the gift, and the realization that it was tucked in one of those boxes that I left years ago. So why not just mail the package? I honestly would not have known where to mail it. I do not know where they live, and I did not want to ask any mutual friends because I honestly wanted to keep them out of it. I wanted it to be Beth's decision. Why not tell the ex's fiance herself, or give it to his family? I know I could have reached out to him or his siblings, but not without spoiling his mom's plans. She wanted him to have it on his wedding day from his wife. I was trying to honor her wishes. I thought about all the possible scenarios and chose the one that I thought most reflected what his mom would have wanted, and also gave everyone a choice. If I told him, it ruins that moment between them. If I told a sibling, it steals their future moment. If I told his dad, I risked him not knowing about any of this and not following through. I thought about his mom's sister, but I'm not sure what the status of that relationship is. The only person that I could think of that was in a position to not cause all that collateral damage is the person who is in my former position when the gift and letter were handed over.
Okay.
Like, yeah, I think she really had
thought
good
this
intentions.
out. This is the only way, really.
Yeah. Like, I feel like maybe she could have risked spoiling something with her siblings or something like that.
Yeah.
But still, it's like, you really didn't mean anything bad by it. I think she should be forgiven.
Mm-hmm.
OP clarifies that the letter wasn't written for her, but for her ex-fiance. No, she wrote her son a letter when he was a little boy, and he was to open it on his wedding day. Oh, wow.
Aww.
So she wrote it when he was a kid? Oh, that's cute. That's really special then. Oh my gosh. She planned to give it to him herself, but she knew that she was not going to make it, so she gave it to me to share with him with instructions to give it to him at our planned first look. I was not in the position to question a passing away woman. I also thought that I would be marrying her son, so it seemed like a simple talk. I never thought I would be in a position of having to pass it on to someone else to give to him, but here I am. OP's comments on the move and when the ex told her that he wouldn't go. So we were planning the move together before she got sick, since we both originally wanted to get out of our hometown and move to my current city. We put those plans on hold when his mom got sick, and I waited until he was ready to restart our plans before pursuing a job in said city. It was 8 months between his mother's passing and the move. It was 4 months after that he told me that he was ready to start the process. He also had a job lined up, but worked for his family business in our hometown, so he could give up the new job without an issue, whereas I had already quit my job. I get that I'm the one that moved, but he is really the one that ended the relationship by changing everything 3 days before we were set to move. I am not saying that he is to blame, but your interpretation of what happened is far from reality. And he told me 4 days before we were set to move that he wasn't going. I was going because I was starting a new job a week later, together, and we had given up our apartment, and I signed a lease in my new city. We went to bed that night, and I asked him if he would ever join me the next day, and he said probably not.
Ooh.
So I told him that I think the relationship is over and we need to call off the upcoming wedding, which was 3 months away. He was very upset, and he left to stay at his dad's house. The movers arrived the next day, and they took my stuff, and I stayed at the hotel near the airport that night for my early flight. I boarded the plane, and I have not been back except to attend my brother's wedding, which was not in my hometown, so I did not return to my parents' home. And we do have an update.
Dude.
But ouch, that would suck.
That's so tough on both of them. Mom passes. He doesn't feel ready to make that step because he needs to be there for his family. He seems like a pretty big family guy.
Yeah.
Then he's like, well, we already signed the lease.
Yeah.
We gotta go.
I don't blame her at all for still going, because yeah, she already signed the lease. She quit her current job. So that's just so tough though.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Ugh.
Breaking up 3 months before your wedding? Oh, ouch, man. Ouch. But we do have an update. So in case anyone is interested in an update to this story. So I heard from Anthony again over the weekend, but this time it was a phone call, which I was very surprised about. We have not spoken a word to each other since the day that we broke up. Well, he was at a get-together with friends on Saturday, and he was still pretty angry about my reaching out to Beth. He was telling some of the partygoers about the interaction and that I should have never reached out to her. And the following is what he told me about their reaction to the conversation. I guess the people that he was talking to, who are not friends that I've kept in touch with, thought that he was overreacting. Okay, good.
He's a bit hurt from this.
They told him that it sounded like I was trying to fix a mistake that I made and did not mean any harm. So then his best friend, Mike, asked him why he was really angry.
Uh-oh.
And I want to ask you to go to iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever your favorite podcast app is, and search OK Storytime, because you're going to find more full episodes of stories just like this one. Do you have a theory? There's a little bit more to the story, but...
He is still in love with her.
Oh boy. Oh boy. That'd be crazy. I want to know how much. Do we know how much time has passed? I don't think.
3 years?
That's what I want to guess. But are we just guessing that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course.
I just wonder, like, you know, if like a significant amount of time has passed since they called off their engagement and then he got engaged with this new girl.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like that does change things. Maybe he didn't have time to get over her or something.
Yeah.
Who knows? But let's find out.
That makes sense.
Anthony said that this got him thinking about his reasoning, and he realized that he wasn't actually mad about my contact with Beth, but the fact that 4 years ago, there's our answer, I actually moved and cut contact. He said that when he decided not to move, he was sure that I would change my mind, and that when I left, it was a total shock to his system, and he was really angry with me. I acknowledged that the way that I left was terrible, but also implored him to take responsibility that he completely blindsided me and left me with very few options. He apologized for this and for his anger, and I apologized for leaving and cutting contact. I let him know the dates that I will be in town, and I will happily send the items to them if he gives me his address. Instead, he asked if he could come pick them up, which I said was fine. Overall, it was a good conversation that I am glad we had. I doubt that we will ever be friends, but I am glad that we seem to be at peace with each other. And that is the end of that story.